Yo, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Benzie TV. In today's episode, we are going to be watching a segment from Ian Bick's podcast with Christopher Curtis. Ian Bick is one of the homies with JD Delay. He's a ex-convict. He's now a motivational speaker, peer support specialist, a sober bro, if you will. And he's a very good advocate for people looking to change their lives, and he's a really good mentor for people who are getting out of this system and trying to readjust, and people who are dealing with sobriety issues, looking to make a change in life and get sober, all that kind of stuff. I found this podcast, and there's this segment on the ever so douchebag Wes Watson, and Christopher Curtis has had an experience with Wes Watson. We're gonna listen to Christopher Curtis talking about his experience and the stuff that Wes Watson talks about, and just really analyze everything he says and see how much of a lie Wes Watson is actually living. So
heard about that on the SNY side, but I don't know if it's true,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, going back to Wes Watson for a second, because I wanted to talk about the gang dropout, because that's really interesting, and we haven't talked about this before on the show.
Yeah.
But to Wes Watson, I've never met the guy, never interviewed him. I would have him on the show if he ever wanted to come on. But my only issue with him is I feel like individuals are paying him way too much money and getting kind of scammed.
That's exactly what's happening.
Like, people are paying $10,000 or $15,000 for life coaching. He's renting a lot of the stuff that he has, the houses, this and that, which he might be a great business guy. There's no shade against
He tried to do it to me, man.
Yeah, but the individuals that talk to him, and he bullies them into giving them the money. That's crazy.
He tried to do it to me. I tried to contact him because I was thinking, okay, maybe this guy wants to help at-risk youth. So I contacted him, and immediately he got back at me.
What did he say, 15 grand?
Send me $3,000 and I'll hook you up with my life coaches and this and that. I'm like, I can't afford that right now. He's like, well, put it on a credit card. I'm like, whoa, like, I just want to know if you want to help people or not.
Yeah.
And there.
So when you're getting initiated by doing a stabbing, are they sending you off on someone random, just like an innocent bystander? Or?
Okay, so no. So this is now. I wasn't there, but I heard the story.
Okay.
So I'm speaking on a story that I just heard about. So I just want to make that. I'm not Wes Watson where I'm going to start, talking all that. I've seen all this or did all this. This is a story that I heard about. So one guy, this was at Kern Valley State Prison, and this is an FTB guy, and he wanted to be FTB. They get it over their eyes, something like that. Anyways, but some guy came in, and he had no paperwork.
Off the bat, you can tell like the demeanor in these two different people. Like, these guys are actual convicts. They're calm, they're chill, they're laid back. They no longer have to be in this state of confrontation and everything like that. Wes Watson is always portraying this hard up, tough guy, gotta yell at you, all in your face. That's not how real tough guys are. Like, people who are genuinely like somebody who's about their business, some whose physical attributes and mental attributes speaks volumes without them having to be so forceful. Like, these guys have been there, seen it, or heard some stories and shit like that, and they're like, damn, that's crazy. But they don't put that into their personality and then start trying to flex as a character, if you will. So you can, off the bat, those are the differences in a fake gangster and somebody who's seen some shit.
Very big misconception that people hear, and I'm sure you've seen or heard about it, and if you watch prison content, there is that mindset that you could not do what you've done in a max security prison.
So here's the thing too. Like, you like listen to like Wes Watson, you've seen his?
Yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Wes Watson too.
I could say that he's pretty wealthy, I'll say that I've never heard of him. I don't think that he was at the prisons he said he was, not acting like that.
He was in California.
He was in California, yeah. But he said he did all this time in all these places. There's no way you're gonna be acting like that. Or okay, so I've done a lot of time in prison. I've been at a lot of prisons. I've been at High Desert, Salinas Valley, Soledad, Centinela, Old Corcoran, Chino, and that's pretty much North Kern State Prison. I've been to a lot of prisons. He's all these stories that he's talking about. I can't even make up that many stories. Do you know what I'm saying? It's bullshit. You know?
I think a lot of those stories that you see these high-profile guys are textbook stories. Like the whole, you got to show good paperwork. You got to.
Well, you got to. That's true.
Yeah, but that's textbook though. That's textbook prison.
I get that, but there's a lot of things too where every yard's different. Okay, all the 180 yards, I don't care if they're S and Y or mainline, they're crazy yards. The S and Y yards are actually worse than the main lines. But every yard's different. Every yard's ran different. There's soft yards, there's tough yards, but like the level 1s, 2s, and 3s, they're really not. I mean, people are getting hurt on the level 3 yards, but the level 2 yards, they're really not. And level 1, that's really not even prison. But, I went S and Y, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I dropped out, I went S and Y. And I'll say this about S and Y prisons. The problem, when I dropped out, I was relieved. I was like, I'm glad this is over with. And then when I got to the S and Y side, I was like, what the hell's going on here? Because it was worse.
Now, dropping out, you mean dropping out from a gang?
Yeah.
The people that aren't.
Yeah, I went S and Y. I locked up. I got out of there. I just was done.
See, this is the reality of someone that's actually been inside the system. They know what's going on. They realize like how fucked up they are in their situation, and they're trying to get away from it. He's lost count of the prisons he's been in. He's talking about it, but he's at the same time he's talking about like I'm not gonna say that I'm still in a gang. I'm letting you guys know right now, like, hey, I dropped out of one. I went here, because I wanted to get away from it. That's some real shit. Wes Watson was there on a pound of bud, dude. Tell people who've done a lot of shit or who have been involved in some shit and they changed their life for the actual better, they leave that whole tough guy shit behind them. Because they know it's an act. They know it's not who they really are inside. And they know that promoting a better life isn't going to consist of trying to hold on to this image, of who you used to be. All these guys, they went from being, chumps and scrawny or fat and shit like that to these buffed up, wannabe, mafioso looking dudes, trying to sell, self-improvement and everything like that. When they're not even living anything that they're fucking promoting. It's all a fucking lie.
And I just didn't want to be involved in it anymore. I just was going through that part of my life. I just, and I was relieved when it was over. But then when I got to S and Y, it was worse. You're thinking you're going to go, okay, it's not. And the reason being is because there's no rules. So when you're on the main line, you know what to watch out for. If this race tries something, they're going to be dealt with. So you just have their structure. On the S and Y yard, it's like the California Youth Authority. You don't have to ask permission to do nothing. If you want to go stab that guy, you could do it. If you want to do whatever you want to do, you could do it. So you have a bunch of people over there. They're pretty crazy people. Just because you go S and Y doesn't mean you're a chump. People are over there for whatever reasons, but there's no rules now. So now these people were kept under control because of, politics. Now there is no politics.
All right, guys, that's the video. Make sure y'all go over and check out the full podcast. Listen to this guy. It breaks down into segments. An idea of someone who's been through the system and who's making an actual change, man. A lot of guys are trying to get this whole sense of what it is to be a man, and they want to make money, and they want to get girls, and they want people to respect them and all that shit. But if you're looking for life advice, someone who's going to help you become a better person, why would you want it from someone who's still trying to portray an image of something bad that led them into prison? You know, it's kind of dumb. A lot of people that are successful and doing stuff without having to scam people, they're, they look naturally built, naturally buff, smiling, happy people, willing to talk to you without having to yell at you or bring you down and stuff like that. So really make sure that you're paying attention to who you're getting life advice from. Take it from people who aren't constantly having to showboat for it. Get advice from people who are actually, showing you, the layers of their life that they have unfolded in order to become that person they are now. Make sure y'all go check out the original video, like and subscribe to Ian Bick as well. Y'all subscribe to the channel, comment on the video if y'all want to see some more stuff. I will be following up on, more stuff as I catch it. And, just trying to give y'all some insight on people who ain't really about that life, bro. So, y'all have a good one. Stay safe. Till next time. Peace. I'll make sure y'all check out the original video, and I will make sure y'all go check. Oh, fuck.